I don't think anything dramatic happened when I turned 40, but something definitely shifted. Up until that point, life had a certain rhythm to it. You build a career, you follow a path, you do what you're supposed to do, you build a life. So you make sure that you've got the nice house, you make sure that you're financially stable, you look at maybe having a nice car, at having the children and making sure that they get a good education. And you don't question it too much because you assume you've got plenty of time ahead. And certainly we're all living a lot longer these days, and we're definitely, most of us are expecting to live at least into our mid, if not our late 80s. But I think at some point in your 40s, and maybe it's that kind of midway point, where you start to realise something. You realise that life isn't a rehearsal. You just get the one of them. And suddenly, the idea of continuing on the same path feels, well, a bit uncomfortable. And I say uncomfortable because it's not as if you're unhappy. You just start to question whether this is what you want. And from the outside, everything can look absolutely perfectly fine, and you can have started that sort of building. But for me, I remember being on a cross trainer at the gym, and I was just thinking about life in general. And I started thinking, is this how I want the next 20 years to look? And it was a really weird moment because I don't know what triggered it. There wasn't anything that happened particularly. I was just in a reflective mood. And that was the question that I asked myself. Is this it? And is this how I want the next 20 years to be? Now, for me, losing my dad in my 40s really brought things into sharp focus. And I'll talk more about that in another video. But it was a very sudden loss. And it made me think, wow, you really do only get one life. And so you've got to live it. And it removed that idea that you've got plenty of time left. And so, as I said, I really just felt like I need to make the most of it. And I started to make small, subtle changes in the way that I thought. And so I thought about, where I lived, the job that I had, the career that I had. Am I happy in my relationship? Are there things that can change there? All the little things that make your life came into really sharp focus. And actually, that was something that I'd taken for granted. I hadn't really thought that you can plan your life. You can look at the life that you have and make the changes. Instead of being on autopilot and just going through the motions day in, day out, it was really about being intentional about what I wanted those next 20 years to look like. So I started looking at where we lived, what job I had, whether or not we should downsize, whether or not we should move to a cheaper area of the country. And in fact, we moved from Surrey to Wales, and that gave us a whole other range of options. And I'll talk more about that in other videos about what that was like to downsize and to move, and the choices and the benefits that gave to us. So I think that's really when the shift happens, not when you change things overnight, but really when you do that life audit and start to think about what could be different, and in making those in making those life decisions to bring about something different, what does that give you? So if you've had that feeling too, just know that you're not alone. I think it's something that we all experience. And so let me know in the comments, what has it been like for you? When did that moment hit you? Was that in your 40s or maybe earlier? Was it in your 50s? And what decisions did you make? And have you reaped the reward of those decisions? So subscribe if you'd like to join me on this journey where I talk about my lifestyle changes in midlife, how I've reset, what that life looks like, moving into earlier retirement. We bought a holiday home in Spain. Maybe you've bought a property abroad. Maybe that's something you're thinking about. We downsized to support the retirement that we wanted. So maybe you're thinking about that too, or maybe you've done it, and what are your experiences? I'm Angela, and I look forward to hearing all about your experiences. But all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. Please like this video if it has been of any value to you. Please consider subscribing. As I said, leave a comment. I do look at every single comment. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.